Tonight, somewhere in the world, a human brain will experience its final moments. The heart will slow. Blood flow will begin to fall. Oxygen will become scarce. Yet the story may not end immediately. For centuries, people believed death happened in a single instant. Modern medicine tells a different story. Death is a process, not a moment. Researchers have learned that different parts of the body shut down at different times. Some cells die within minutes. Others can survive for hours. The brain sits at the center of this mystery. It weighs only about 3 pounds. Yet it contains roughly 86 billion neurons. Every memory, every fear, every dream, every face you have ever recognized, all carried inside a network of electrical signals. What happens when those signals begin to disappear? That question has fascinated scientists for decades. In 2013, Dr. Jimo Borjigin and her team at the University of Michigan studied dying rats. They found something unexpected. Immediately after cardiac arrest, the brain briefly produced a burst of highly organized activity. Some brain waves became even stronger than normal waking levels. The finding challenged a long-held assumption. The dying brain might not fade quietly. It may briefly become intensely active. Why would that happen? No one knows for certain. One possibility is that starving neurons release a flood of chemicals as oxygen disappears. Another is that the brain desperately tries to restore normal function. Either way, the result is extraordinary. A final storm of electrical activity. Could this explain near-death experiences? Some people who survive cardiac arrest describe moving through a tunnel. Others report bright lights. Some say they felt overwhelming peace. Others recall hearing voices or seeing loved ones. These experiences are real to the people who have them, but that does not necessarily mean they reveal what happens after death. Scientists continue to investigate whether these experiences are created by changes inside the brain itself. As oxygen falls, the visual cortex can become disrupted. That may contribute to tunnel-like vision. Changes in the temporal lobe may alter memories. Large releases of neurotransmitters may distort time. Seconds can feel like hours. Dreamlike experiences can seem completely real. What would you remember if your entire life flashed before your eyes? Surprisingly, some evidence hints that the brain may rapidly reactivate important memories during extreme stress. Researchers have observed unusual patterns in both animal studies and a handful of human recordings. But the evidence remains limited. Scientists are careful not to claim more than the data supports. Studying death is incredibly difficult. These moments cannot be repeated in controlled experiments. Every case is different. Every patient is different. Many questions remain unanswered. Doctors also know that hearing may persist longer than expected. Some studies suggest patients who appear unconscious may still process sounds. That is one reason many medical professionals encourage families to keep talking to loved ones during their final moments. No one knows exactly what those last experiences feel like. The truth is more mysterious than certainty. Your brain is one of the most complex objects in the known universe. Even as life fades, billions of cells are still following the laws of biology. Not magic, not myth, just astonishing complexity. Every thought you have ever had began as tiny electrical signals moving between neurons. Every memory, every emotion, every decision, every dream. All of it existed because billions of cells communicated with one another at incredible speed. For most of your life, this invisible network works so perfectly that you never notice it. Only when it begins to fail do we realize how extraordinary it truly is. Scientists continue searching for answers using brain scans, electrical recordings, and advanced neuroscience. Each new discovery reveals another mystery. The more we learn about consciousness, the more questions appear. Perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. Death is not simply the opposite of life. It is the final chapter of the same biological story that began before your first breath. And perhaps the most humbling fact is this: the brain that spent a lifetime trying to understand the universe eventually becomes one final mystery for science itself. Maybe the greatest mystery was never death. Maybe it was always the human brain.